At sa puntong ito, makakapanayan po natin si CHED Commissioner Prospero De Vera mula po sa Canada. Magandang umaga po sa inyo, sir.
Magandang umaga naman at magandang umaga sa inyong mga tagapanood.
Okay, sir, I'll go straight to the point. Naglabas po kayo ng pahayag last week na sinasabi nyo, itinatanggi ninyo na kayo po ay kumikilos para mapatalsik si CHED Chairperson Patricia Licuanan sa pwesto. Sa inyong pong palagay, saan po nanggagaling yung mga akusasyon ngayon laban sa inyo na tila ikaw daw at saka itong si Attorney Julito Vitriolo are moving towards the same direction against Licuanan?
Alam mo, hindi ko alam kung saan nakukuha ni Chairman Licuanan ng kanyang impormasyon, no? Pero para sa akin, napipilitan akong proteksyonan ng aking sarili dahil ang mga akusasyon ay walang batayan, ito'y hindi totoo at mukhang iniimbento ng chairperson, no? I find that very unprofessional. I find that very dangerous for an academician and a former cabinet member and the chair of the commission to be leveling accusations without basis. So napilitan ako sumagot.
In fairness naman to her, sir, sinabi naman po niya na she cannot say kung talagang kayo ang behind this. Para lang po mas malinaw ang lahat, ito po mismo yung sinabi ni Chairperson Licuanan. Ipapapanood po namin, ipaparinig po namin sa inyo kaugnay po dito. At pwede po kayong tumagon after this.
Okay. Until this.
Okay. Until this, do you think he's behind this or...
I cannot say he has categorically denied it. I obviously he and Lito are, if independently or in collaboration with each other, kind of working towards the same thing. No?
Okay, sir. Tugon niyo po rito that you and Attorney Vitriolo are kind of working towards the same thing. Pero sinabi rin niya that you have already categorically denied itong mga moves to oust her.
Well, in the first place, she should be focusing on why the president does not want her to attend cabinet hearings or meetings. No, that's the central issue here. It has got nothing to do with me. You know, when the president issued that instruction to prohibit her from attending cabinet meetings, I was even out of the country. The president did not consult me, ask for me. I had nothing to do with it. No. Second, when he says that I am conniving or working with the executive director Vitriolo and the 15 career officials, I've been in office only for 3 months. I have not talked to them. They have not sought my advice.
Right.
I have not given instructions to anyone. So I don't know where she is coming from and what evidence she has at hand to say that we are working in the same direction.
Opo.
What direction is she talking about?
I think she was coming from, there was a national directors meeting at sinabi po doon na kayo daw po ay nag-walk out together with CHED Executive Director Julito Vitriolo noong nakarang linggo.
Hindi totoo yan. Hindi totoo yan. In that meeting, the Executive Director Vitriolo raised the issue and questioned her chairing the meeting.
Right.
Nung tinanong, when the commissioners were asked their position, I said that CHED is under the office of the president and directly supports or directly reports to the president, and that I am worried because it is not every day that career officials in an agency, many of them, write a letter asking the president to intervene. And I said it is important for the commission and its leadership to exercise prudence in its actions. Now, I said that I cannot attend the meeting because everything is not clear, and the president, and I will wait for the instructions of the president. That's the reason why I left the meeting.
Okay.
I sought permission to leave. I did not walk out.
Pero kayo po ba hanggang ngayon ay, kayo po ba kinu-question din niyo po yung legitimacy ni Licuanan sa pamunuan po ng CHED?
As I said in my press statement, I have never called for her resignation. Never. I have not questioned her leadership, but I question the chair of a commission when she levels unfounded accusations against the commissioner. I think that is responsible, and that has to be retracted because there is absolutely no basis for that.
Ano po ang reaction ninyo na binanggit po ang pangalan ninyo ni Attorney Vitriolo kasi sinabi po niya na ang suggestion ay mag-appoint daw ang Pangulo ng OIC sa CHED, and he even mentioned your name.
No, you have to understand the context of the letter.
Opo.
The way I read it, the letter said that there is only one appointee or one official in CHED who has been pushing for the agenda of the president. And they are requesting that the president appoint that person as OIC. Unfortunately, I am the only appointee of the president in the commission. So I suppose they are referring to me. But that's the business of the career officials.
Opo.
If they want that, that is up to them. Well, it is better that you ask them why they think I am a better leader of the CHED. You know, I cannot answer that.
Okay, sir. Derechahang tanong po, sir. Gusto niyo po bang makuha ang chairmanship ng CHED?
Hindi. I am just doing my job in the commission. I am chairing 24 state universities and colleges. I am advising the peace process. I have enough things to do. I think the issue is between Chairman Licuanan and President Duterte. That is the issue at hand, and that is the issue that has to be resolved by the chair, not by me, not by the career officials.
Gaano po ba kaimportante na uma-attend po sa cabinet meetings ang chairman po ng Commission on Higher Education or CHED? Kasi nung na-interview namin si Dr. Licuanan, what she's saying is that independent naman talaga ang CHED sa Malacanang. At hindi naman daw ganun ka-vital na umattend siya sa cabinet meetings. What are your thoughts on this?
That is not true. The head of a major government agency, especially higher education, which has a new allocation of 8.3 billion pesos, has to be part of the cabinet because that is the venue for you to report on what you're doing, to seek the support of other agencies, and get direct instructions from the president. The chairs of CHED have sat in the cabinet historically, and they have always been there. So all these insinuations that under different presidents the chair does not sit, that is not borne by correct information. You just have to check online and look at the cabinet members of every president, and the CHED chair is always a member of the cabinet.
Yeah. Makaka-apekto po ba sa operasyon ng CHED if the chairperson of the CHED doesn't attend the cabinet meetings?
Definitely. For example, let's take a specific program, this new 8.3 billion allocation for free public higher education. This is a major initiative of the president. Where are you going to report? How are you going to report the progress of this? How are you going to explain to the rest of the cabinet members how the program will be implemented, how the money will be used, how it will be allocated? That happens in the cabinet meeting. The only other option to do that is you have a one-on-one meeting with the president where you brief the president. Other than that, it is very difficult to implement major programs if you are not attending cabinet meetings.
So, given this controversy, where does the CHED go from here? Ano po ang ma-advise ninyo kay Dr. Licuanan bilang chairperson po ng CHED para po maayos itong kontrobersyang ito?
Well, my advice to her, first of all, is to retract her statement leveled against me. Because that is a malicious statement that has no basis in fact, number one. Number two, my second advice is, the problem is between her and the president, not between her and me. So that is what she should think about. Why did the president instruct her not to attend cabinet meetings? That's the second. And the third point is there is so much work to do in CHED, especially with this new 8.3 billion peso allocation for free public higher education. It is better that work continue. Politicking and seeing ghosts behind every move and insinuating that another commissioner is out to topple her takes away the importance of the work of CHED.
Okay. Do you agree with her point that she has a fixed term until 2018? So hindi siya dapat magbitiw sa pwesto, or walang basis yung mga sinasabi na dapat hindi na niya pamunuan ng CHED?
That is her interpretation, because Malacanang already said that she is covered by Administrative Order Number 4. That was what the Executive Secretary had said. That is what Malacanang had said, that the instruction of the President under AO Number 4 is for all appointees to give their courtesy resignation. So I will follow the administrative order, because that's already the statement coming from Malacanang. You know, it's a little surprising. The other commissioners of the commission followed Administrative Order Number 4, and the chair submitted their courtesy resignation to Malacanang. I am surprised that she thinks that the commissioners are covered by AO Number 4, but she is not covered. But again, that legal issue is between her and the Office of the President. I am not in any way, connected with that particular problem.
Sir, sa iba pong issue, itinalaga rin po kayo bilang Peace Process Advisor sa Government Negotiating Panel. Tama po ba, sir?
Oo, alam mo, Carla, yan ang mas masayang trabaho ko ngayon kaysa itong CHED, kasi dito sa peace process wala kaming intrigahan, at saka lahat kami nagtatrabaho ng seryoso.
Okay, ang panawagan po ng National Democratic Front ay palayain ang mga political prisoners, pero sa ngayon ay iisa pa lamang daw po ang napapalaya. Ano po ba ang paninindigan ng gobyerno kaugnay po sa political prisoners?
Hindi naman totoong isa pa lang ang napalaya, dahil maraming, yung mga negotiators ay na tinulungan ng pamahalaan makakuha ng bail, kaya nga nandoon sila sa Oslo. Ang marami sila dating nakakulong na napalaya dahil sa pagtutulungan ng Philippine government at ng NDF. So marami nang napalaya. Ikalawa, gusto naman seryoso ang Pangulong Duterte at ang peace panel na tulungan mapalaya yung iba pang political prisoners. Pero, Kara, ang problema, nasa demokrasya tayo eh.
Opo.
Ang marami doon sa political prisoners ay may mga kaso sa iba't ibang korte. Hindi naman pwede na ang Pangulo ay uutusan niya ang judiciary, a co-equal branch of government. The President cannot order another branch of government to unilaterally release everyone. That cannot be done under our present form of government. So what is important is for the Philippine government through its lawyers and the National Democratic Front through its lawyers to work together so that as many political prisoners can be freed by working on their cases individually. It's a tedious process, I understand. And while the NDF is not happy with it, the Philippine government negotiating panel is also unhappy with the pace, because we would want as many political prisoners to be released as soon as possible.
Okay, okay. Ano-ano naman po yung mga hinihinging kondisyon ng gobyerno para sa isang ceasefire?
Ang gusto ng pamahalaan ay mapabilis yung negotiations, dahil gusto ng Pangulo na sana magkapirmahan na ng peace document at matuloy na yung proseso. It's going to be a long process, because right now what has been agreed by both panels is just the framework and outline of the peace document. And both panels are now preparing the respective versions of the peace document. I sit in the Reciprocal Working Committee on Economic and Social Reforms, or CASEL, which is probably the most difficult and contentious part of the peace process. Similar reciprocal working committees are also doing their work now. There's a Reciprocal Working Committee on Political and Economic Reforms that's also drafting their version. So we hope that when we see each other in Rome starting January 18, the document from the Philippine panel and the NDF panel are close enough so that when we negotiate on each and every line and each and every word, that consensus can be reached faster than expected.
All right. And with that, maraming salamat po sa inyong panahon, CHED Commissioner Prospero De Vera. Thank you, sir, for your time.
I'm pointing also.